All right, and welcome back. We are talking about gender minority awareness, a conversation that was actually inspired by the ongoing census after Kenya actually became the first African country to include the intersex population in the census. And we got thinking, how many of us actually understand our gender minorities today? And so we tried as much as possible to make this a very inclusive conversation by inviting one intersex to studio, Joseph Ombane. We also do have a transgender woman, Latoya Johnston, widely known, by the way, in the media circles, and of course, clinical psychologist Benjamin Zulu. We're still asking you to send in your feedback, your questions, even words of encouragement if you have them. For our individuals here today in studio, remember those numbers at the bottom of your screen. Our SMS number is also quite active, and so is our social media platforms. My name is Shiko Kaitani. Okay, so getting back to our conversation, we do know Senator for Persons with Disabilities, Isaac Mwaura, has really been advocating for your IDs to actually have that change that will indicate, you know, who you are. So for you, you feel that is step one, Joseph. That's a good step in the right direction. Or will that actually put you into more problems if you've got that difference in your ID?
I want to say that I think that is the best thing ever to happen, because you know, you can't have this something that is showing a different thing from who you are.
Yes.
In most cases, I've said that if you have the certificate or the ID that is reflecting who you are, I think it will be now more easy for you even to move, for you even to get employment.
There would be more stigma with it.
For you even to say now, I'm at least okay. Because the moment I say I'm this and this and this, people start even discriminating me. They don't even want to see you.
Okay.
So the moment you have the ID that maybe so I'm Joseph, maybe an intersex, it will be okay.
It will be
we want to reach a point where you can stand comfortably and proudly and say
I'm an intersex. Okay, Lee Handa from Narok. Lee Handa from Narok is on the line. Good morning, Lee. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm fine. I'm Lihanda Andove.
Yes.
I'm calling from Narok.
Okay, yes, go ahead.
For the first time, I've heard about this issue since the census started.
Yes.
But I really want to support these people. We should treat them like our very own, our sisters, our brothers. And having been created by God in the image and likeness of God,
right?
We should support them, and they should not feel looked down.
Yeah.
In fact, they should come more openly because they never chose to be who they are. I would really wish to advise them.
Yeah.
To move to be so open. To move to schools, so that they may encourage the transgender students,
right
from the primary school, high school, and universities.
Okay.
And they should also.
All right, we've lost Lihanda, but thank you so much. I think you get the message. We do have another call on the line. Okay, fine. All right, so we've lost our next caller, but not to worry. Lots of encouragement coming in, right? And, you know, the funny thing is that I really applaud Joseph for even showing up today. Latoya, I know because you've been in media before, you know, it wasn't something strange for you. But Joseph, do you know how many intersex people we spoke to who were too shy, even afraid of coming on national television to say that I'm an intersex because they already believed that they would be bashed. But listen to what Kenyans are actually saying this morning. They're saying, we support you, you know, we're here for you. And I think Isaac is actually back on the line. Good morning, Isaac. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm fine, Isaac. Yes, why don't you speak up?
Yeah, I want to speak up.
Yes, there you go. Go ahead.
What about I think the government is realizing that this is
All right. Apologies, Isaac. Your line isn't too clear, but hopefully we'll be able to get him back. Let me just ask you this, Latoya. You know, there's that argument that all transgender people are just simply gay. But you actually told me, by the way, that is a huge misconception because it doesn't mean so. First of all, for you, who are you attracted? What is your sexual orientation? Let me put it that way.
Let me just say that I am a woman.
Yeah.
So when I am a woman, that makes me a transgender woman. That means that I am attracted to men. Okay. But that one does not mean that I am gay. Yes. Although, let me make something clear. Right. Transgender is an umbrella name. In the transgender community, you are going to get transgender gay people, you're going to get transgender heterosexual people. Yeah. You are really going to get people who do not conform to gender, and some of them call themselves they or it. Right. Because they don't want to be classified. By the way, these days I hear you have to ask someone, what is your pronoun? Exactly.
Because I could say he and you prefer she.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, so Catherine is on the line. Good morning, Catherine.
Good morning, Shiko. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. Now, I would like to, first of all, applaud the people who are in the national television. Yes. For agreeing to be there, because these are bold steps that they have chosen, and I believe there are so many other people who are hiding. Yes. And they don't know what to do about their identity. Right. And I would also like to say that we support them. Personally, I support them, and I really empathize with them. Yeah. And I wish more people would come in, and I wish the government would consider them. Yes. If anybody would have thought that these two people were of the other gender, I think they were so wrong, because you don't need anybody to tell you that Joseph is a male and the other person there is a lady. I mean, you don't need anybody to tell you that they are who they are today on this television. Right. So may they continue with what they are doing. May they continue fighting for their rights. Yeah. And we are going to back them up. So thank you, Shiko.
All right. Thank you, too. Okay. Why don't you okay, I understand Edward from Kisumu is on the line. Sorry, Benjamin, for that. I'll get back to you in a second. Yes, good morning.
Yes, hello, good morning.
Yes.
Good morning.
Yes, go ahead. Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, I love Edward from Kisumu.
Yes.
And I love the topic. What I can say is that we need to support all the people, the transgender people, that are part of us. Okay. Given equal treatment before the law.
All right. Okay. Your line isn't too clear, Edward, but thank you so much. I think I got just a nutshell of what he's saying, that we need to support you. Going back to this term, Benjamin, there's something known as gender dysphoria. Why don't you explain what that means for us?
Dysphoria itself is the name of a disorder. Yes. And it is used in many other ways. Right. You could have body dysphoria. Yeah. Gender dysphoria then. Dysphoria is not having a settled, having a forced, an illusionary. Yeah. You have a disillusion. You are mistaken about reality. So when you have a gender dysphoria, you have not settled on who you are. When you have people who have body dysphoria, which is more common, I think more people are used to that. I was called to go and counsel a girl was in hospital. She believed she was overweight and she was so skinny, almost dying. She's not eating. She's dying.
It was just in her head.
And she thinks she's overweight.
Oh, wow. Okay. Maurice from, let me get this. Maurice from?
Nairobi.
Nairobi. Okay. Hello, Maurice?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, this gender thing, it's becoming actually an eye-opener through the census that is going on today. Right. And when God created all of us, we were created by one God. And we were given birth by a mother. Yes. Either way, there's a mother was involved in giving birth to us. It is very, very much sad to sideline these people and to put them in a cluster that belongs to their own class, and we belong to another class. Yes. Transgender is something it is hormonal, it is biological, and it is also a process in birth making. And people don't choose to be born male or to be born female. I want to applaud the three people that are on this panel today, because they are opening the eyes of many that are not sensitive to this gender.
Yes. Okay.
And we also want them to be defined and also to be put into the budgetary allocation of the government.
All right.
So that their medical awareness, their needs of gender is factored into the budget in the next financial year, if possible.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that. Benjamin, very quickly, you were talking about, of course, that
gender dysphoria.
Yeah, dysphoria, yes.
So we are saying when you notice that you're fighting, you are. I was telling you about the second cause. We said one is hormonal.
Yes.
What brings these issues we are talking about today?
Yes.
The next thing is pain. Gender dysphoria many times comes from. It's not mental, so many times hormonal.
Yeah.
Many times it's in mental, it's in the mind.
Yeah.
And if a child, there's a boy I handled for a long time.
Yes.
And although everything about him is boy, he wants to identify more being woman because the father was so brutal towards him. Being boy was so painful, yet the girls were treated with a lot of love by the father.
So he would rather be a girl?
He registered that to be at peace, it's better to be female.
Okay.
So if you realize that you went through pain that was associated with gender, you are sexually abused for being a boy or for being girl. And you begin to, that's when, if you ask me, many times when I deal with the people who are gays, homosexuals, many of them, it's not so, they were not at peace when they were on this side because they went through a lot of pain. Not all of them, but majority of them, I find that it was from pain.
Right.
So I say, when you have a gender dysphoria problem, go see a psychologist, go see a counselor. You need to visit, my visitor is at Ngara and handle these cases on a day-to-day basis.
So you're saying that a lot of people are struggling to figure out who they are.
Yes.
Especially our youth.
And if you are past teenage and you're still struggling, now you need to see a counselor more importantly.
Right.
Because teenage is the time you are settling who you are. Who am I belong to? Who do I associate with? Identity forming during teenage.
Okay.
And maybe something to add, just a bit. It's just that let us not confuse gender dysphoria, which is actually actually like a situation or like an issue with the transgender and members of the LGBT community. Or I will speak for the transgender people. So this idea of people having like the notion that transgender people or other people like intersex are actually like suffering from gender dysphoria is a no-no. I just want to make it clear.
You are very settled in who you are and you know what you want.
I know who you are. I know who I am. And I don't need anybody to tell me who I am or how I need to present myself.
But did you struggle in the beginning?
I never struggled because while I was growing up, I was wearing skirts. I was fabulous. I was always cleaning the house. I was like playing with the girls for those people who knew me. So the only thing came over when other people started to label me and they started calling me gay, and I was just like, what is that? I was just Latoya Johnston. It was just that I was fabulous and outside there.
You're still fabulous.
And I give it to them. Notice I'm a queen mother, honey. I serve them. So I never like really struggled. Like some questions come like, when did you start to notice that you are not a man and now you are a woman? I was a woman from when I was born. It's you guys that did not see.
It's society who are labeling you. Okay.
You are just joining me right now.
Hey, did you hear that? Joseph, listen to what Latoya is saying. She had already arrived and we are joining her right now. So for you, does the struggle continue? What is your next step going forward? Are you going to stay as is? Are you going to transition fully, and even go, surgery if need be?
I want to say that I don't want to talk for all the intersex because everybody outside there, maybe we might have someone who want to go for that surgery. We might have those who don't want to go for that surgery. You know, here in Kenya, some of those surgeries are very expensive.
Right.
Some parents cannot even afford to have. That is why we are even requesting the government to see in any way they can assist us.
Right.
But what we want to say, what we want to plan is those surgeries that are done small children. You know, when you are a child, you cannot be able to tell whether I'm a man or I'm a woman until you come of age.
Because parents are rushing their children to go in for surgery.
What if I may ask, what if I was to be maybe taken to that surgery when I was young and maybe made to be a woman? What would have happened? So it is good for the parents to raise these children without a surgery, so that the children to decide for themselves when they are grown up. You see, to decide for themselves. What we want is the children to decide. These surgeries, we call them intersex mutation, genital mutation. Because some others have suffered psychological problems because of these surgeries.
Because they identify with the other, with the opposite gender. So look at that. So the parents will actually rush their child to theater.
They rush them to surgery. When the child become of age, they decide we are not of this. Maybe we are on the other.
On the other side. Okay, Martha from Kakamega has something to say. Emmanuel from Kakamega. Okay. Yes, Emmanuel.
Ningependa kuchangia mswada.
Yes.
Na about this intersex.
Yes.
Mimi nilikuwa nasema kwamba we should not neglect these gender intersex people. They are part of human beings, so lazima tuwaunge mkono to support in the society. So let them not feel that they are kwamba wametengwa kwa jamii ama nini. Let them feel part of the people, like how people are treated normally. So sisi tunaunga mkono, tunaomba that government ingilie katikati na pia wasaidie kama wananchi.
Okay, all right. I understand Janet is on the line. Thank you so much for that, Emmanuel. Janet, good morning. Hello, Janet. Okay, so we've lost Janet, but not to worry. Hopefully she'll get back. Benjamin, how do you help a lot of your patients, if I can call them that, make that decision for themselves and most importantly, you know, integrate with society? Because it took a lot for Latoya to come out. And in fact, talking about a little bit about expression, if she wasn't expressing herself this way, who would know? You get right? So she's quite bold for you know, even putting on makeup. We're there doing our eyebrows with Latoya. So how do you help your patients do that?
I think one is to accept your place in life.
Everybody
has challenges.
Even
those of us who are not struggling with gender issues, we are not exempted from the struggles of life. What we need to, what I usually start with the person is tell them, before, and Latoya has mentioned that some of them don't have problems in their lives. It's us who are imposing problems. And it's people like intersex who need to be included in our society. He should be allowed to change his certificates and to get a job. In fact, I don't know when he's launching a case in court. My first degree is law and I can see a very good case there. He should go to court and say, Judge, look at me. Don't look at me. Why am I being called Elizabeth? I'm being forced to stay. So we have many lawyers who are willing to do pro bono just to fight for them. Number two, we are saying, without the society, who are you? So the first person I tell them, African proverb says, if there is no enemy within, the enemy without can do us no harm.
Exactly.
If you are at peace within you, you can withstand war from outside.
Exactly.
So I tell them, make a conclusion yourself, who you are to yourself. If you have a teenager, anytime you have a teenager, from any time from that teen, they start exploring who they are. Many people even experiment gay sex and lesbian sex, just experimenting. What is it about? So they try it. So I usually tell parents not to panic because the child that yaliona kasigara, alivuta kasigara.
All right. Mary from Eldoret, is on the line. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Do you have a question or a comment, Mary?
I want to compliment and comment.
Yes.
That God created us wonderfully and beautifully made. But I feel in a special way the transgender people are wonderfully, much more wonderfully and beautifully made. Because they have something extra majority of the people in the world don't have.
And what's that?
And then that's why they should feel they are very privileged people and they are very special and we love them very much.
Thank you very much for that, Mary. You seem to be quite very warm.
The Kenyan society is growing up.
Yeah. Okay, Kakamega is on fire. Absolutely loving the discussion. We have another call from Kakamega. Okay. Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Yes. Honorable Amoy Jr.
Yes, karibu sana Honorable Amoy.
Mimi nataka kuunga hili swala mkono.
Yeah.
Na sisi kama wanasiasa tumesema mfano kuja katika bunge letu la county. Tuko tayari kutetea hii jinsia ya intersex.
Oh, thank you.
Na we will fight for them and support them in the community of Kenya.
Right. Thank you so much for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Wow.
So I think like basically from like what you've heard coming like from a government official.
Yes.
Most of the things are actually going on the intersex part of it.
But there is no representation.
There is no representation on the transgender people. And then also whenever people need to be very careful with whatever they say, also when they're using the words like, do not feel like you are not a part of the society. We don't feel like that. These are the people that the things that heterosexual people feel.
Right.
That is why they deny us jobs. That is why they deny us washrooms that are made for us. That is like genderless, that we are able to use. And when we are talking about diversity in the society, it means that it should be inclusive.
Inclusive, okay. Yeah. All right, so very quickly as we're winding up, LGBTQ+. Help us understand, because all we see is just more letters being added. We're about to take up the whole alphabet because there's just so much going on. And this is like on a light touch. Maybe Benjamin or Latoya, you can answer that as we say Kwaheri. Yes.
So the LGBT community, the LGBT plus all that, it's just that it just means that the world is really opening its eyes and embracing and realizing that the world is not just made of male or female. There is more to it. And the LGBT and all that basically means lesbians, gays, LGBT, bisexuals, and transgender and all that. And another thing that I really needed to put across is just that it is, in as much as it is more, not everybody, every man who sleeps with another man is actually gay or transgender or whatever. Some of them, we have different people that are gay for pay. There are just some people who want to experience and
the way he was saying, experimenting.
So do not go out and then you've seen somebody having like a sexual intercourse with somebody and then you start labeling them. But another thing is that the transgender community also need to be embraced, and I think education needed to be done from primary school and a good awareness to be created.
All right. Okay. Joseph, what would you like to say to those who are watching in regards to intersex people? Very quickly, we have 1 minute to go.
I want to conclude by saying that intersex, we exist. Census is going on. I want to say that those who have not come out to be counted as intersex, please come out and be counted as intersex so that we have numbers and
all right, thank you. Where can people find you? Because we're getting there.
My Gmail is zulubenjamin@gmail.
Right.
Facebook is Zulu Benjamin.
Yes.
Facebook Zulu Benjamin. Gmail zulubenjamin@gmail.
Okay, so if you do have someone who you know is actually struggling, please do not feel like you are alone. They are, you know, advocates. Latoya is here, Joseph is here, Benjamin is even here as a clinical psychologist to assist you. You can also get in touch with me on my personal social media platforms to put you in touch directly with Benjamin if you wish. But that being said, thank you so much for showing up and for being so brave to come on national television as a transgender, as an intersex.
Thank you so much.
And as we wind up, I actually do have a challenge for Latoya.
Bring it on.
All right, so I understand that you actually are a modeling coach.
Yes.
So as we're walking to the other floor, I want you to show me how to model.
So just make sure that you will not be walking, you will be floating.
Okay, so how are we floating?
Well, you need to be walking like a queen.
Okay.
So what you need to do is that, do you want to do it the high fashion way or the pageant way?
Let's do the high fashion way.
Because I'm talking right now, Mr. and Miss University were trained by Latoya and all of them scooped the title. So, as a high fashion model, you need to make sure that you are starting your walk with your left leg. And if you are a lady, the only thing that should be moving are your hips and nothing else.
Okay.
So look at your mama doing it and copy. Just like that.
Okay.
You did well. Now pose and flip.
Oh my goodness, as you can see, there's a high fashion way and then there's a pageant way, all courtesy of Latoya Johnson. Thank you so much for that. Please, next time you walk into studio, remember, it's the pageant way or the high fashion way.
All right.
Okay, just
put
your hips into it.
Put your hips into it.
We have a couple of messages for you coming up right here. Let's look at that as far as it's concerned. Your SMS is, of course, coming in on 21222. As always, Patricia Akoyo, I want to say that His Excellency Government Otichilo is doing a very great job in building Vihiga County. Asante sana for that, Patrice Akoyo. Mercy Mbone, Your Excellency, I'm happy with what you are doing. Very much impressed with the ranking by the Office of the Controller of Budget on absorption of funds. As a youth, kindly can you tell us what plans you have for them? Of course, he's spoken about how he wants youth to be more involved in TVET so that they can get more skills as far as that's concerned. And that's what he wants to do, to make sure they get more employment opportunities as far as that's concerned. So we can move on from that, of course, and call it a day as far as K24 this morning is concerned. Do you have more feedback? Do you have any Twitter up on date? Okay, fine. We'll wind it up right there as far as it's concerned. Thank you so much for being a part of this amazing show. I mean, learned so much from politics of the day, getting up close and personal with the governor. And then on top of that, learning how to catwalk. I didn't even know there are two of them.
You just move your hips.
I just thought once you're on a catwalk, you walk.
No, you don't just walk by there like a duck. Excuse me. You put your hips into it. How VP?
And start with your left foot.
Always start with the left.
Okay, we're absolutely done as far as this is concerned. We'll take a break and we'll be back tomorrow, bright and early from 6 in the morning on K24 this morning. Don't forget, immediately after that, Daily Brief takes on from 9, looking at the big stories of the day. Any developing story, any breaking news, you most definitely will find it right here on the Daily Brief with Samuel Njoroge and Shiksha Arora. See you tomorrow, bright and early. Have a blessed Tuesday.